Hey everybody, you got the Wingman here, and we're going to jump right into it today. If you're an RVer and you are tired of hearing about all the broken frame issues, and if you think that there are a lot of unanswered questions by the RV industry, please watch this video. I think it's one of the most important videos I've ever done, ever. Now, just a little bit earlier today, I finished an interview with a man who is, well, he's also tired of hearing complaints about broken RV frames and other RV safety issues. And he's tired of RV buyers and owners being ignored by the RV industry. And what he has to say, if you'll do what he suggests, truly has the potential to literally change the direction of the entire RV industry. I'm not exaggerating. Please, if you care about RV safety, if you care about getting the truth out about those broken RV frames or flex frame, that issue, please share this video everywhere you can. If we don't stop complaining and start doing something smart and doing it together, things are never going to change very much in the RV industry. But with your help, with just a few minutes of your time, according to my badass RV lemon lawyer friend, Ron Burge, we may actually see a change for the better, really. Again, if you care about RV safety, if you care about RV quality, listen up and share this video. And make sure you check out the important links in the description down below and post your comments as well when you're watching. So I've been watching this frame situation, frame flex, broken frames, whatever, the frame problem manifest itself for the last several months and waiting for any manufacturer to provide some kind of information, something that made me feel comfortable, that I think would make other people feel comfortable, and not just some glossed over, we're looking into it kind of explanation. And when you talked with me the other day and you said you have a plan to unite people, to give them a voice that will it will get the attention of the RV industry. I think this is going to. I want to thank you for doing this. Let's talk about what we as consumers can do to get the Lipperts and the Grand Designs or any manufacturer that we believe is having a serious issue, a safety issue. What can we positively do that might have an impact that can work on our benefit, our behalf?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people, they hear about recalls, they see recalls, and they wonder why the problem that they've got isn't already subject to a recall. And part of the problem with that is that the manufacturers are the first ones to decide whether or not they think it should be a recall. Well, that's always not in their best interest, obviously, because recalls they have to do for free when they try to fix them. But there's a way that consumers can join together and actually cause a recall to come about by notifying the federal authorities that are in charge of the recalls, the recall agency, if you will, that part of the government that actually issues the recall notices and makes the factories do them and keeps track of all this stuff.
But Ron, I'm confused. You said, I think if I heard properly, that most of the time a manufacturer, when they know they've got a problem, they know they got a situation, that they issue the recall. They own it. They say, look, we got to put a new seatbelt bracket in or whatever it happens to be. But they don't always do that. But I think most of the RV manufacturers do what you just said. They do say, hey, we have an issue, let's go ahead and fix it. But this frame issue, I don't see any recall being out there. And now you're saying, well, if they're not going to address it, you're going to show me, you're going to show consumers how we can get the attention of Lippert, Grand Design, and any and all parties that might be, a part of this whole broken frame flex situation.
Yeah. And let me explain, first of all, why it's a problem and what can be done to make it happen right. And part of the problem is this federal law is out there that says that when a safety issue exists, the manufacturer, who normally is the first one to discover these kinds of problems, when they discover it, they are required to notify the federal recall agency, if you will, NHTSA, NHTSA. They're required to notify them that this problem exists and they're going to do a recall. If they don't notify them, that's a violation of federal law. So part of the problem is that the law says that the factory is the one that gets to decide whether something needs to be a recall, or if they want to try what we sometimes in the business call a secret warranty, which is where they issue a technical service bulletin that tells their dealers, hey, we found this problem. This is the way you need to try to fix it. Well, the factory gets to make that decision. So they can decide that it's not a serious enough safety issue because it's rare, or because it's not that big a deal, or because the fix is a minor thing, or
Or
100.
because nobody's been killed yet. Nobody's been hurt yet because of these broken frames that we know
Right.
of.
Yeah.
So they could say it's not a safety issue.
Oh, but it is a safety issue if the danger is there. The question isn't whether or not it has caused a problem or might cause a problem, but is it a risk, a safety risk? If it is a safety risk, then whether they designed it that way and it just didn't work, or whether they didn't design it and it just happened because of some other problem, doesn't make any difference. They still have to do a recall on it. But a lot of times they get to make the call. And when they're making the call, it's kind of like, okay, how much is this going to cost us? Do we really think that's enough of a defect to make a recall? Or can we just do one of those secret warranty technical service bulletins and tell dealers, hey, if somebody complains, it's what you do to fix it. And
so hang on. And I don't want to get too far off into the weeds, but you said a technical service bulletin. I think the acronym is a TSB, and that's a notification between the manufacturer and the dealer, but we don't get to know about it.
Yeah, it's a secret warranty. That's the whole problem with TSBs. But there is a way for you as an RV owner to find out if one exists. And that is because when they do a TSB, the factories are required to distribute that to their dealer network, and they are required to give a copy of it to the Federal Safety Recall Agency, NHTSA. NHTSA posts all those on its website. So if you go do a search for your make, model, year vehicle, and sometimes all you need is either just that or the actual vehicle identification number, the VIN number, but either way, you can do a search through their database, and it'll turn up those secret warranties, those TSBs, along with recalls. It'll even tell you about investigations that haven't been made public yet.
But hang on, do I have to have a VIN number? In other words, I don't have one of these units, but I'd certainly like to know if there's a TSB that's been issued or more about this whole frame issue. Can I, as just a John Q. Public, get that information, or do I have to put in my VIN number?
Nope, you don't even need a VIN number at all. If you want to find out all the problems that exist on a particular unit or a particular model or whatever, the year of it, the name, the brand, if you will, and the model, that information, you type it in, and that information then will pull up out of the database what they know about it. Ongoing investigations, recalls, technical service bulletins, even owner complaints are in the database. So the federal database is really useful if you're shopping or if you bought and you wonder if you got a limit. The reality is to search the database that the Federal Recall Agency has, the government, if you will. All you need to know is what you want to search for. The year, the make, the brand, or the model. You can put that into it, and it will actually do a search. And this is all free at the NHTSA website. And then you can find out everything that they know. You're going to find out about investigations that may be going on. You're going to find out about recalls that have been issued. You'll also find about these technical service bulletins. You can even see complaints that have been filed by owners like you about a particular model.
So if I'm a consumer and I don't know, the problem with these frame issues is most people don't know yet. And when they don't know until the warranty expires most of the time. And so it sounds like you're saying you got to be proactive. You got to go on the NHTSA website. Folks, if you're watching this video, the links are down below. Ron has just created this a document, if you will, that talks about how this whole thing works with all the links to the government and the things that you can do. And I believe, Ron, that unless we as consumers put pressure on these manufacturers, we're going to be kept in the dark. Most people don't know what you just said, that you can go to the NHTSA website and it does take a little bit of time. It does take a little bit of typing around.
But it's really easy to do. And you're right. Most people don't know it's there. But in fact, it is there, and it doesn't take much effort to go locate it and do the search and see what's there. You can do that before you ever buy a vehicle, or once you've got it, you can do that and see what's known. Now, the problem, of course, is that if you don't even know you have a problem and the factory isn't talking about it yet, then how do you figure that out? If you know that you have a problem, though, you can also file your own complaint with the recall people.
What does it take to get NHTSA somebody from the government. And, I'm a stay away from the government, work with them as infrequently as you can. But in this case, I think that NHTSA is a really important, it's our only line of defense between us and just being victims to these manufacturers and what might be a cover up. I don't know what it is, but I know that by not talking about it doesn't get any better.
Yep. And it could well be a cover up and you wouldn't know. That's the whole idea of a cover up. But if you want to make the factories get on the ball and take care of these things, or to take care of you as an RV owner in your particular RV, and you've got a problem that is a safety problem, as far as you're concerned, it's a safety issue, then you can file a complaint with NHTSA, the Federal Safety Recall people. And literally, it's so easy to do because it's just a simple one-page form that you fill out on the internet, or you can actually print it off if you don't want to get on the internet. You can print it off and then you can fill it out by hand. You can also just simply type it out, whatever way you want to do it, and then just mail it in, or you can email it to them. The reason that they do recalls and the reason that they do investigations at NHTSA is because they get complaints. Every single complaint is looked at by human eyes. It's not just a computer saying, yeah, okay, let's put this here, let's put that there. And
Really?
They decide when they get enough complaints about the same problem or about the same manufacturer, that is the kind of information that will trigger an investigation. And the investigation is the first step to the recall process for NHTSA.
Okay, hang on. I got to interrupt you again. Most people that have a fifth wheel, especially a Grand Design, any of the units that we watch on YouTube that have had problems, anything made along the assembly line around that same time as the broken ones, they don't know. Most people don't know the situation that they have. And they're worried. They're scared. Is it wrong for them to file a complaint with NHTSA? Is it wrong for them to do that? Or would their concern be enough, if enough people do it, that it would get their attention and create a federal investigation to get to the bottom of this?
I remember seeing one of the things that came out from manufacturers and talking about the problems in the first place with the frames, that it appeared that it affected all of the frames that existed for this particular frame manufacturer over a 2 model year course. So the result is that whether you actually know you have it or not, the frames apparently got it. And if it does, then if you don't even know you have it, yes, you can still file a complaint. But what you need to do is to add that you understand that actually this issue affects every single one of the frames they made in the course of 2 years. And it's only a matter of when the problem is going to pop up.
I've heard, I don't know if it's true, I've heard that the steel that Lippert buys, don't know if it's true, and I will retract it if I'm saying something wrong, but it's steel that was inferior, if you will, turned down by other manufacturers, yet it was purchased by Lippert, and that was the steel that was used in making these frames. I don't know if that's true, but if it is, if you add that to poor, sloppy workmanship, crappy welds, it's like this small thing turns into what we have today. And I think that it's going to take somebody at the federal level, I hate to say it, that digs in, that goes, okay, stop blaming everybody. Let's look at the real truth and let's get to the bottom of it.
That's the whole problem with this issue. And it's a problem that happens a lot of times because the manufacturers control the information. You and I can't figure it out. I've seen a lot of those reports. There's probably a dozen different ways that I've seen people try to figure out, okay, it could be this, it could be that, and including the bad steel approach. I've heard different approaches on it, but the problem is nobody really knows for sure. And the only people that can make the factories disclose that information, that's the federal recall people. And that's why complaints need to be registered with them by everybody who owns one of these that's got the problem or is afraid they're going to get it because it's their model year. And if so, file your complaint. When they get enough complaints, then this is going to look at that and they're going to say, what's going on here? And they're going to get a hold of manufacturers to find out what's going on.
If just a fraction of the people that have purchased those products over the last 2 years, those 2-year models, contacts NHTSA. And folks, you can do that by clicking on the link below in the description. It will take you right over. And also there's a link to Ron's document. Ron, thank you for doing this. I mean, this is I call you my badass RV lemon lawyer, but this is a public service that I wish we didn't need to be talking about this. But after so many months of the industry just kind of ignoring it, oh, well, we'll take care of it.
Yeah.
Shh, sign this NDA. I mean, something's got to be done.
Yeah, you're right. And that's true actually for almost any kind of a safety issue that somebody has with their RV. They shouldn't just complain to the dealer. They shouldn't just complain to the factory. They need to fill out one of those NHTSA complaint forms and file it with the Federal Recall Agency. Because if you got it, odds are somebody else has got it. And if enough people who have got it do something about it besides call the factory, instead file a complaint, then the federal safety people are going to look at that and decide, hey, what in the heck is going on here? That is going to be one way to clean up this RV industry and make them build them right.
I'll guarantee you, if enough people, this is just my prediction, if enough people will take action, click on that link, file a complaint, if enough people will do it, the industry is going to have a conniption because the federal government's going to say, hey, something's not right here. And when they start digging, they're going to find out a whole lot of things that we RVers have known for a long time, because they're not RVers, they're just bureaucrats. But when they finally find out, wait, how come it, what? I think it might be the beginning of changing the dynamic where it's more in favor of the consumer. What do you think?
It easily could be that, because for the first time, people are now finding out that, listen, there is a place you can go to independent of the factories, who has the ability to call the factory and make them do stuff, to expose and discuss and explain what their problems are. And I'll tell you, if there's anything a factory doesn't want to have to do, it's explain to somebody who has the power to do things to them. That is the kind of a thing that can cause a factory to decide to start building them right in the first place to avoid that problem. And in factories, just like most businesses, big, huge corporations, it's about the money. If there's a cheap way of doing it and still keep their profit up, they tend to want to go that way. They need to understand that there is a reckoning that can be had when the customers decide they've had enough.
And we're not passing judgment at all. I mean, I don't know if there's a cover up. I don't know what's going on, but I don't think we'll ever know if there's not some kind of an investigation. And if the investigation proves that, nope, it wasn't inferior steel. Nope, it wasn't this. It just happened. I don't think it's going to happen. But if they do, that's what it is. That's what it is. If we don't look, we're not going to find it. We're just going to be told, move along. Come on. No, everything's okay. And would you like to buy another RV? That ain't right.
That one ain't right here. Let me sell you another one. By the way, I can't give you very much for that trade-in because, it's just not worth that much now because of all its problems. It's kind of like, wait a minute, what's the logic of that? Where is the customer concern? Where are factories taking care of their people? If they want them to buy another one tomorrow, they better build one right today.
All right, everybody, please listen up. Here's how I believe we can actually coerce the RV industry into dealing with the RV frame issue and other RV quality issues. I've put 3 links down below in the description. Each one is important. One is to actually file a complaint with NHTSA about your RV. Another is to be able to look up any complaints about any brand or model of RV. And the other is to the document that Ron Burge has put together, that I think every RV owner should download, and it's all about RV recalls. It's really, really good info. I hope that you will check out these links instead of sitting on the sidelines. Get involved. It's the only way I know of where we might actually be able to make a real positive difference. But the question is, will you take just a few minutes and help? I hope so. Honestly, I don't know how many people it's gonna take to get somebody from the government to step in to take a deep dive look into this situation. But I know that sitting back griping isn't gonna work either. So if you think like I do, that enough is enough, I hope that you'll take the couple of minutes and click on the links down below. I can't make you do it, but I sure wish I could. If nothing else, drop a comment down below and please share this video everywhere. I believe we need to get the word out. This is a golden opportunity. Please don't let it slip by. Finally, many thanks to Ron Burge for his help. Ron, you are awesome. And to everyone watching, so are you. I am the Wingman, and I'm counting on you. See you next time. Bye-bye.